all plant ID is done through my own study of cross-referencing through books and videos. So I'm only human, and I could be wrong. So you guys do your own study, cross-reference yourself, and remember, pesticides are put down in not only open country fields due through crop dusting. Just remember where you're picking these things up at. So, hope you guys enjoy. So today, guys, I wanted to show you and share something with you. I'm just in my yard, so you're going to hear a lot of traffic because I live on a main street. But to kind of show you how dangerous it can be to be playing with these wild edibles. Not trying to scare you, but I do want to show you this plant here. This plant here appears from the outside, and when you dig it up, and I'll show you that here in just a second, like a wild onion. So let me dig it up here. You can see the leaves are nice and tall and cylindrical coming off of it. Let's go ahead and dig one up. Hey, buddy.
Play bubbles.
Yeah, watch. Okay.
Look at that.
Yeah, you got the shovel?
Look at that.
You got it? You can dig it up, buddy.
Take.
Alright, guys. See what I got here? I've got bulbs. Cylindrical looking. Just like you would think of a wild onion.
No.
But what's different about this plant is it does not smell like onion. And another thing too, let me see if this one shows it, but I don't know if you can see this or not. But do you see this slight white rib down the center of this? The bigger it gets, the more this is defined. The smaller ones are hard to tell. But this plant here is called the Star of Bethlehem. You will not be eating this plant. It is highly toxic. Highly toxic. So got a high concentration. It will poison you for sure. So let's go over and I will show you this plant in bloom so you can see what the bloom looks like on it. I have mowed my yard once or so there may be a few of them cut down, but it blooms in the daylight, and when it gets night it closes up. The flower does. Let's go over there and I'll show you that. Here, guys, is the plant in bloom. You can see that it has 6 petals. Let's go ahead and pluck one off here so you can get a better view of it. This plant, when it gets dark, will literally just close up and look like a well, somewhat look just like this from the sides. Maybe tonight I'll show you. It looks a lot more like, I guess this one's closed up right now just because it hasn't bloomed yet, but it looks a lot like this when it gets dark outside. All these huge flowers that are bloomed out extremely large right now at night will close up. And this is called the Star of Bethlehem. You can see maybe on this older plant it's a slightly white rib. I mean, you can barely see it, almost translucently white. It's a flat leafed plant, but it kind of curls around itself when it's small, so it's kind of confusing, but it does not smell like an onion. Now I'll take you up front and show you where me, as trying to learn edibles, is slightly confused. I personally cannot figure out how to tell the difference between a wild onion and wild garlic. The books that I read contradict each other, and some of the videos that I've watched contradict each other. So I think that what has happened is a lot of people have gotten confused and are not sure which is which. So I'll go up there and dig one of those up and show you what that looks like. I actually took and transplanted some from my yard in the middle of my yard and put them in my flower bed just so I could let it grow and top out and flower. And I did let that happen last year, so I'm not really sure. Let's go over there. I'll show you that. So this is where I'm slightly confused on whether it's a wild garlic or wild onion. I'll go ahead and dig it up here, guys. You can see a lot of this thin, grassy looking, and then I got the larger one. These larger ones are the ones I planted last year. They have grown up. But you can see from this here, this has got a good pungent onion-like smell to it. And I've got little bulbs coming off of the sides of it of more oniony onions or garlic. Now this leaf is really confusing to me because it is a tubular leaf, like you can see probably in this one here. And it also has a slight, gosh, this sucks in the camera. I'm trying to show this. A slight flatness to it right here, where you can tell that this other was sitting in it as it was growing. Now this is a big one. I'll dig up these smaller ones to show you. Maybe one of you guys can figure it out and tell me what I'm missing, what this actually is. And I think there's a few different species of onions, so maybe you'll know. They like to grow in clumps. Kind of looks like grass. You can see all these different bulbs in here. I mean, just tons of them. They're real small, up to medium to fairly decent sized ones, like this one here. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys today. Thought it would be interesting for you. That way you don't accidentally pick up the wrong edible. Now these grow literally right next to each other, at least here in my yard. So you gotta make sure that each and every one that you pick are the same. You can't just grab a clump and expect it all to be the same. Because I mean literally right here, within inches of the next one, is a lookalike. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care.